3, 2, 1. Good afternoon. Okay, just make sure I've got the paper there. Okay, the aim of this particular video is just to outline what's required for the assignment. Okay, assignment 4, unit 4. Okay, the aim of the assignment is to come up with and propose a sustainable urban drainage system. Okay, ultimately at SUDS. Okay, I spelled it wrong already, haven't I? Sustainable urban drainage system. Okay, all right, so we've covered sustainable urban drainage systems before, probably back in September. All right, so, and again in a similar area. Okay, so the assignment takes place, the context of the assignment takes place in Charlotte Street, which is just outside the window from where I'm looking. All right, and the rear car park of the Link building. Okay, something that you're already familiar with, something we've measured up. All right, etc., etc. However, before we write about that, that's basically because we're writing a report. Ultimately, this is the last thing we actually write about. So, for the report, we need a front sheet with an image and your name on. All right, I can't stress that enough. 2, table of contents. All right. 3, okay, drainage systems. So what I would call more traditional drainage systems, which is ultimately in many respects it's a system that we used in this country prior to the introduction of SUDS. Okay, so we're talking about foul water and surface drainage. Okay, what you need to talk about with them is, do we combine them? Because we can have a combined system, it's quite old, or in a more modern context, do we have a separate system? Okay, so we'd have to write about both, advantages and disadvantages of both, and then choose. I would probably recommend a separate system because you've got brand new houses. Okay, in addition, you probably find that it relates much easier to part H. Sorry, see, I've broken this one as well. Part H. Okay, it says part H of the building regulations. All right, so you need to talk about part H of the building regulations. Okay, guys, please do that. Okay, don't slack, don't miss it out. Number 4. Okay, once we've done that, we talk about services, and there are 4 services: electrical, water, gas, and telecommunications. Okay, 5. Okay, I need to check to remind myself. Okay, because I sort of did this yesterday, didn't come out very well. Roads and pavings. Okay, because we are also talking about external works. External works predominantly being roads and pavings, and obviously what we're going to do is going to dig up that road and relay it. Now, whether we relay it using a SUD scheme or partially a SUD scheme, or a more traditional scheme using tarmac or concrete, is one of the things that you've got to explore with this particular assignment. Number 6. That's where we get to SUDS. Okay. Number 7. All right. Sorry. I sort of didn't see it there, okay? It is roads and SUDs, okay? Alright, and number 7, from that we draw a conclusion and recommendations. Okay, so number 8, some recommendations. And number 9, a bibliography. Okay? After doing all, say that's recommendations, apologies for my writing, and bibliography, okay? Conclusion, recommendations, bibliography. All of these should go into your table of contents, all right? And that's the order that you should do it in. If you've got that order, you can write about each one individually. You've got a guide. Obviously, to get the distinction, one needs to talk more about SUDs, okay? But one also needs to, because there are different types of SUDs, and some you probably wouldn't require within Charlotte Street. So you know, you can talk about it. Please, you've got to talk about the different types of SUDs. But when you come to make any recommendations, use common sense, justify it. All right. For instance, you might use blocks that are porous. Okay, so to slow the surface runoff down. Okay, to reduce the speed of the surface runoff. Okay, so that could be one recommendation in this street, but you might not use a pond, okay, because of the issues surrounding space, water, etc. But you might use some green spaces to make the place look nicer. So these are recommendations that you could make, okay? All right. You might explain there might be some problems with regards to where you put the services. All right, so you have to sort of be careful, all right, and you have to come up with some realistic sort of proposals. All right, that's for a distinction. Merit, talk about each of them, each of these, some advantages and disadvantages, and relate to the case study, and make a proposal. Okay, it's really how detailed your proposal is the difference between a merit and a distinction, and then pass. Just write about each of them, give a brief explanation of each of them, and then draw some conclusions, and maybe a recommendation as well. Okay, so they're the sorts of things that sort of we need for this assignment. Okay, guys, thank you.